Make sure it's live too. All right, there we go. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Rangers Talk. Today, here with Nico. Nick will be joining us soon. And today, we're going to be talking about the game that was just played against the Winnipeg Jets, Minnesota Wild, Tampa Bay Lightning. And we're also going to talk about positives of the season so far, negatives, all of that. Going to talk about lineups, everything that you need to know. Finally, some game action to talk about, which is nice. So, yeah, before we jump into it, leave a like, subscribe, and follow on all the socials. Link is in the description. But I'm feeling good after 2-1 start. Not in the CVS, which is nice. Not in the CVS at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Not just yet. 3 games into the season. The Rangers, they've looked good. I mean, we've had a pretty tough 3 games to start, I would say. Going to, in one of my opinions, very good. Having that back to back against the Wild and the Jets on the road is tough. Took care of business easily against the Wild in that game. Jets was a tough one. I thought they played pretty well, but unfortunate. I guess they just didn't have the gas for that one. I mean, we're going to get into it, but that's how I
Yeah.
feel.
We're going to go in order here. So we're going to start with the Tampa game. So we'll recap that one in case anyone missed it. The Rangers won that one 3-1. And to sum it up, best game I've seen in decades. It's truly been a long time since the Rangers have had an effort like this. I can't remember the last time, excluding the playoffs, I should say, because last year in the playoffs, we saw it. We've seen it before in the playoffs, but when was the last time in the regular season the Rangers had this type of showing?
Oh yeah, I mean they played a full 60 minutes, which the Rangers typically don't do a lot. But I mean, it was incredible. We were both in the building for this one, and it was a good one. I mean, they just clicked on all cylinders. They looked just phenomenal.
100%. And that would be my one gripe, by the way, about being in the building is I need to talk because whoever else was at opening night, where were you? Because I did not hear the crowd in the first period at all. It took until the end of the game to hear the crowd. I don't know. Maybe I'm complaining. Maybe I just was tone deaf. I don't know. Maybe I was just too into the game, but I didn't notice the crowd personally enough in the first period. I don't know if that was just me or my section, but did it feel that way to you?
It did. I In the first period, like I was expecting opening night against a team that just knocked us out in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like we were going to be electric from the jump, but it definitely took, as you said, like up until midway through the second. When honestly, the Mika goal, that's kind of what got the crowd going. But
Yeah,
yeah,
not even the
besides that,
introductions.
yeah,
My section
it
was
was
sitting during
quiet,
the introductions. I couldn't
unbelievable. I
believe it.
mean,
Last year, everybody's standing and excited. This year, nah, I don't know what it
especially after
was.
coming off an Eastern Conference Final appearance, you got to expect, like
And how much you paid for the ticket? Like, why aren't you
yeah,
spending?
they were
you spent
absurd prices.
you spent $170 for that, and that's
Exactly.
without you getting your drinks, without you getting your food. You
Oh,
spent just for the ticket there,
yeah,
and then on
it was
top of that,
sad.
the food. But yeah, that's my one complaint about this game, the crowd. But outside of that, yeah. So in terms of what happened, this one, Rangers and Lightning both put up a zero in the first period. But I thought the Rangers played probably the better. They were not definitely. I'd say definitely they were the better team that period. Not probably. I'd say definitely they were the better team that period. They outshot Tampa for the most part in that period, and I thought overall that they were the better team. The shots were what 14-8 in that period, something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that. I think the Rangers had 14 shots. Lightning had like 6, 7, or 8.
Yeah, that was probably the best. I thought that was the best period of the game, which is what's also weird. They didn't score that period, but I felt that was the best one of the game. And then the Rangers in the second period early, they end up going shorthanded. I forgot what the penalty was on that, but Mika Zibanejad ended up scoring shorthanded early in the game. Beautiful backhanded move. That was probably one of the better goals to open your season. Not only shorthanded, but the way that he scored that goal was just a thing of beauty. And the Rangers go up 1-0. Then Tampa ended up tying it on the power play from Stamkos, just rifling one from the top of the circle like he does. And that was a power play goal. and it tied things up at 1. Took it to the third period for another goal. Mika ended up scoring again on the power play. The power play I thought looked good. What did you think of the power play opening night?
It was really good. I mean, they kept the puck in the zone for, I would say, basically the whole time on all their power plays. They didn't let it get out. The passing was phenomenal. They were able to. Wait, did they score on the power play in this one? Well, Miko was shorthanded. The
Yeah,
other Miko
Mika
goal.
scored on the power
Yeah,
play.
he was on the power play that one timer, of course. Yeah, they were phenomenal. So I think it's electric. We haven't seen that in New York. I mean, over the last couple of years, it's been like that, but as we know, those early 2010s, the power play did not look like that at all. And now to see it's one of the best in the league is really satisfying, to say the
And a
least.
guy who won a face-off to help us out, start the power play.
Yeah, Vinny Trocheck.
I just want to point out Nico's point. You said the power play back then wasn't great, but now it is. But it's just funny how it's the opposite now. Now the power play is great in the 5. Well, now we're starting to get better.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
5v5.
Yeah, which we'll
impact.
talk about a bit of that later on. But Barkagujo then scored as well. Beautiful deflection goal from a Ryan Lindgren shot to make it a 3-1 game. And the Rangers would not let up that lead. The Igor's better chance started towards the end of this, and the Rangers ended up winning shots in the game 39-26 in favor of the Rangers. 64% of the faceoff dot. When's the last time that happened? Could somebody please try to find a date for me, because I have no idea. And the penalty kill, that was probably my biggest gripe also at the game. They took way too many penalties. 6 penalties. You can't do that. Tampa only going 1 for 6 on the power play, sure. But regardless, still, pretty much a complete 60 from the Rangers that game. I don't really have a lot of complaints at all outside of too many penalties, and it wasn't even the team's fault that the crowd was just dead in the first period. So can't really complain there. Do you have anything to add with this game? Because I honestly don't. They played a great game.
I was gonna let Nick go since he just came in, but did he actually didn't watch any of it?
I didn't watch the game because I was at the Yankee game.
Yeah, he's up there. All right. So yeah, no, I don't have much to say either. They just played a really good game in the face-off. Thought it was nice to see them actually win a lot of face-offs because of Vinny Trocheck. Being a big part of that, of course. Got him mainly because of the face-offs. And Mika just looked fantastic. He usually gets off to slow starts these last couple of years we've seen to start the season, but he came out flying, and mostly everyone did. I mean, it was unfortunate Kravtsov going down early.
That's another thing.
Yeah, that's another thing we got to get to for sure. But I think everyone played really good, and there's just no complaints. They came out electric against Tampa.
Yeah, the point that you made about Mika is great too, because he looked like himself. He looked confident, and you're seeing it more when he plays his style game. The coaches said it, Kreider said it as well, that there are times where he'll try to be like the opposite center that he's playing against, when in reality, if he just plays his game, he'll get the results there. And another point I did want to make, if Vasilevsky was not in this game, could you imagine what the score would have been? I mean, the Rangers just absolutely rolled over Tampa in this game, and I have no other things really to add to that. Like you said, Kravtsov got hurt, which sucked, and it made the lines confusing, and it sucks because you're already dealing with a Blay injury because the preseason's too long. And then you also had Lindgren, who's probably playing hurt also right now because he wasn't healthy at the end of preseason. And I feel like I'm forgetting another injury right now, but either way, yeah, Rangers started the season 1-0, and then they quickly improved to 2-0 as we get to the game against the Wild. And this was another great game for the most part. There were times where the defense definitely did look a little off, especially in the third period. I thought the defense looked off. In the first period too, I thought they looked a bit. They were all over the place to start the game, but the Rangers did end up scoring early. They got a power play early, which definitely helped them out. Kreider ended up scoring from Zibanejad and Panarin, and I felt like that really helped them gain momentum early in the game. And then the Rangers did end up scoring again later on when they finally got their legs under them, because I felt like they did halfway through the period. Adam Fox ended up scoring from Laffy and Panarin. This pass by Lafreniere, we're seeing him be the number 1 overall pick that we thought we were getting. And then he got another assist also not too long after on the Panarin goal. Trocheck as well, getting his first as a Ranger. Second period, Zuccarello scored on the power play because, of course, Zuccarello did. Filipino as well scoring. Second period, definitely a great period for the Rangers. And then the third period, this was a weird period. I thought that there were moments where they looked dominant. There was moments where the defense looked awful, especially on both the Boldy goals. I don't know. I don't remember who was on the ice for them, but they were some ugly plays. Trocheck, though, opened the scoring in the third period to expand the lead to 5-1 at that point. Boldy then cut it, but then Kakko, probably his best goal in his NHL career. Would you say that, outside of the rookie camp goal, which it's rookie camp, so who cares? Boldy then scored again, and then Kreider scored again to end things, and then the Rangers held it down. But overall, thoughts on the game? Nick, we'll start with you because I know that you have a lot to say about this one.
I'm doing something else right now. You go first, Nico, unless of you.
All right.
You go first.
This was a really good performance once again by the Rangers. They came out again. I mean, I didn't know what to expect going into Minnesota. Good team, but they were able to get to Marc-Andre Fleury in the first. I mean, they got the power play. Then we saw the beautiful pass by Zibanejad to Kreider. We just know whenever the Rangers go on the power play, there's a 50-50 chance they're honestly scoring. It looks like at this point they're so good on it. And then Lafreniere with Trocheck and Panarin. I mean, that's just got to stick together. Lafreniere didn't show enough already to go on to stay on that second line. I don't know what more he could do. 2 phenomenal passes on the goal by Adam Fox and then the one by Artemi Panarin. So they went up 3-0 on this one. Then Zuccarello's goal came in, unfortunately. But it was a good shot by him. Can't do much about that for Igor. And then the goal to make it 4-1 was that
That was Hedel.
that was the Hedel goal. Yeah, he got a nice little going in front of the net. Yeah. I mean, you don't see that from Phil Hedel camping out in front. Usually he gets the rebound, and he put it in. So great to see that from him. Then the Trocheck goal came in, I believe, at 5-1. Yeah, his first as a Ranger. He didn't get all that one-timer, but it was able to find its way past Fleury. So I was really happy to see him get on the board. He deserved a goal. And then just from there, smooth sailing. Trading a couple of goals. It was sloppy defensive play for like a couple minutes there with Boldy scoring a few goals. But overall, again, the Rangers looked really good, and the game was never really in doubt from the start.
I agree. I mean, they definitely let things get out of hand with the Boldy goals. But after that, I felt like in the moment there, they got too comfortable with the lead. And then after, they kind of tightened things up defensively more, and that's how they ended up shutting things down. But for sure, agree that I didn't really doubt it for a bit, especially considering the fact that the Rangers came out of that first period with the way they played 3-0. The fact that they held on that long and went up 3-0 showed me enough. Second period then showed me further enough that they were going to win that game. And like I said, third period, I just think they got too comfortable with the lead. But Nick, your thoughts?
Overall, I wouldn't say we did great. Like I said, our defense, we're letting up too many scoring chances. I mean, it's so evident. Like, there's no denying that we're just letting players walk wide open in the slot. You're right in front of the net, getting for set, one or two scoring chances right after the other. I mean, if it wasn't for Igor, we're down 2-0 at the start. I mean, there's just, I'm not even trying to, be stubborn, but I think it's pretty obvious that, we should have been down to start the game, but thankfully, we actually have weapons up front, and, we're able to score. But I think for the most part, I think our defense really needs to, clean itself up. And I'm not saying like we got to be perfect every game. We're going to, obviously give up scoring chances, but the amount we gave up was just way too many. And it just seemed like every time Minnesota was coming up on the rush, it was like over and over and over again. It's like, come on, like just, you just gotta like be more aware in your own zone. And, we just gotta be tighter and be more stiff. And I don't like it when people say like, oh, we were good enough. Like we weren't, because I don't care if it's a win, because that's just not going to fly in the playoffs. And I know it's the beginning of the season, but we have to realize expectations are higher for this team, and y'all want to be a Stanley Cup championship contender. Well, it starts with the defensive, side of the game. Tighten up, can't be giving those opportunities, because I'll tell you right now, if we play teams like, I don't know, even though we beat them Pittsburgh or maybe Tampa or whoever, we're gonna pay big time with the amount of chances that we've been given them. We're gonna pay big time, and we have time to fix it. If we're blessed to be 2-1 and not 1-2 or 1-1, whatever. But like I said, there's time to fix it up, but it's got to start with there. To be better defensively. Be more aware in front of your net. And besides that, though, I have no complaints. I think the offense looked good. We're passing the puck nicely. Skated well, and maybe I'd like to see us generate, a little bit more scoring chances instead of only having to be on the power play in order to get our chances. But other than that, I thought we looked fine and offensively. But that's not hockey, because you need to play good on both sides of the puck.
I mean, I agree to an extent with certain things. Number one, I agree that they're lucky that in the first period they didn't trail at any point, because they definitely looked sloppy to start the first, and they didn't have their legs under them until way later on in the first. Agree there. Also agree that offensively they relied too much on the power play at the start of the game, at the very least, to get things going. But as the game went on, I don't think you could say that they didn't get the scoring chances and that they struggled 5-on-5 offensively. I mean, you scored 6 5-on-5 goals. There's
We're
definitely nothing you could complain about there.
I wasn't criticizing the offense. I was, we got offensively, we got better, throughout the game. I wasn't necessarily criticizing the offense, criticizing the defense. From the start, we were shit. We got a little bit better throughout the game. There was like a period where we were, really good, but even towards the end, in the third period, we just went back to our ways in the first period, and just let guys walk in too easy, let them wide open right in front of the net, and grade A scoring chances. It's gonna happen. I'm not saying you can't have it happen, because it's gonna happen every game, but the amount of times that it happened, it was just unacceptable in my opinion, especially if you want to take that next step and really be a serious contender in this league. Not to really throw the team under a bus, but there's a reason why people are saying we're not contenders, we're pretenders. Now we have to show that we're not pretenders and we can actually play good hockey on both sides of the puck. I mean, I don't want to be a team known just to have a good goalie and, we're getting bailed out. Like, why should we be known as that? We got to play good hockey on both sides of the puck. It's possible, and we have, the talent to do it. We just got to execute it. Got to execute the game plan. But I don't know what's going on in the locker room. Who says what to, do certain things. For now, I'm going to say, Gallant needs to address that problem. But I guess I don't know what's going on in the locker room. But also, again, like I said before, it's early in the season. We got time to fix it. But we don't want to get too comfortable. We got to fix it as soon as possible before it's too late.
Like I said, yeah. I mean, I agree that for moments that they definitely struggled. I mean, I like this game a lot more defensively than the one in Winnipeg. I'll say that for sure. I thought they played a lot better in this game, because if you look at the goals, they allowed one on the power play. Okay, it's going to happen with the amount of penalties that they took in the game. They were bound to score on the power play. One of the Boldy goals was a mistake from Zach Jones in the offensive zone. So it's not like this was a defensive zone mistake. I don't really have as much of an issue as I did, which I guess we'll move on to the next game against the Winnipeg Jets, which this game was kind of infuriating and kind of a kick in the balls, because that second period was unreal. They just couldn't get one by Hellebuck, but to open the scoring, it was open from Mark Scheifele, because of course it would be. We know he was a guy that was rumored and linked to the Rangers, so of course he was bound to at least score one in this game. He ended up doing it, and the Rangers overall looked like a team coming off a back-to-back that traveled in the first period. They looked human. They made way too many defensive mistakes, and they weren't generating anything offensively. Second period, kind of the opposite, at least offensively. Defensively, I thought they were still letting up some chances, but I did like offensively how they played in the second period a lot, getting a lot of scoring chances, but again, Hellebuck just robbing them nonstop, and there's nothing they could have done. Third period, they started off great as well. Dryden Hunt ended up scoring from Trocheck and Panarin. Beautiful spin pass from Trocheck. Hunt goes top cheese on that one. But then the Rangers defense definitely, I don't know if they were gassed. I don't know what, but the Gagne goal cannot happen. That was poor positioning by, I think it was it Miller and Trouba on the ice for that goal?
It was.
Yeah, that was a goal that can't happen. Trouba sends the puck to Narnia, takes a penalty. Scheifele, all alone in front of the net, scores that one. I don't know what Barca-Gudra was doing on that one. I don't know what Adam Fox was doing at that one, but you can't leave the most deadly shooter open on the power play. And then Connor got the empty netter and 4-1 game. The Rangers have 41 shots in this game. They couldn't get one by Hellebuck, and they could have easily snuck away with this win. Would they have deserved it? Probably not, but they could have snuck away with a win here for sure. So it is unfortunate that with how good they played in the second period that they couldn't bury one or two more, but it is what it is. Again, the better team won that game, and the Rangers just didn't show up enough defensively. Simple as that.
And we're going to expect, when we play Winnipeg, we're going to expect these kind of games with a defensive-minded coach and Rick Bowness. I mean, he wasn't coaching this game, but it doesn't change the game plan itself. So I thought Winnipeg was, they had Hellebuck's a great goalie, but, more importantly, we definitely gave Winnipeg more chances than they gave us. But, I mean, besides that second period, which, we were all over. But I think the first period and third period, they feel like they generated more scoring chances, but that was good positioning and, and getting guys open. But at the same time, like I said, Scheifele goal, he walks right in wide open, pass right to him in the slot and just buries it. And that Gagne goal, again, the fact that he was able to get 2 chances off of that, it was just unacceptable. I mean, Halak played a great game. For sure. He kept us.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Halak kept the Rangers in this game for way longer.
If it wasn't for Halak, that game could have easily been like 3-0, 4-0 early on. I mean, seriously, that's the amount of scoring chances that the Jets have gotten, and Halak just played a really good game. I can only imagine if it was Georgiev in that, forget it. But yeah, it's good to see that we have a good backup, but we've got to help our goalies out a little bit more. And, it's pretty evident that, that we have to fix that for sure. But like I said, it's early on in the season and hopefully we make those changes, but Golan has to address those problems in practice and fix something because I heard we played a good game against Tampa Bay, but that's Tampa, just one game. We had, as of right now, we've had more games where we weren't good defensively, even though it was 3 games, but 2-1. So 2 games shaky defensively, and then we had 1 complete game. So, there's time to fix it, like I said, and hopefully we will.
I'm glad, though, that Gallant did acknowledge in the post game that they weren't good enough defensively, because that's something where, there's times where he'll just be like, oh, it's fine, and give them a pass and everything. This game, no, he was not thrilled with the defensive effort. So that's something that I'm happy about. But Nico, what were your thoughts on the game altogether?
Yeah, definitely sloppy defense in this one. I'll give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because, it's a back-to-back traveling from Minnesota or Winnipeg. But look, it's early on in the season. These guys should be ready, energized to play, and the defensive effort was not there at all in this one. There was a lot of high danger opportunities where Halak, he was definitely a very, very good player in this game for the Rangers. He kept them in it, but you got to credit to Winnipeg and Connor Hellebuck. The Rangers, as you said, got plenty of chances, and he was goaling them. So it sucked there to not get a few more passes in that, especially that second period, as you said. But yeah, that Gagne goal late in the third period absolutely was inexcusable. Trouba Miller way out of position. Halak is scrambling, so many rebounds, and then Gagne is able to put it in. We just got to be able to help him out a little bit more there because We saw what Igor all of last season and bailing the defense out. Jesus. So you don't want to have that situation again where your goalie's just bailing you out night in, night out. We gotta have good efforts on both sides, offense, defense. Offense has not been a problem so far, but the defense a little shaky. So yeah, just got to be able to help out our goalies more and keep going here.
Yeah, completely agree. Halak definitely, like both of you guys said, big reason that this game was closer than it was. And, before we go further in, I do want to get to Stan Fleischer's tweets that were dropped earlier this morning because they were very interesting. So if you don't know him, he is a New York Islanders reporter. So he decides to tweet this after the game. How could the Rangers go from invincible one night in Minnesota to very invincible in Winnipeg? Answer, Shesterkin to Halak. So I don't know if your TV wasn't working or if you were watching an older game or what, but as far as I'm concerned, the Rangers did not lose because of the fact that they had Halak in net instead of Igor.
Yeah,
I don't
did
think
a
that
great game. I mean, I think I don't watch the games. I think the Islanders be undefeated if they have Halak right now. So shut the fuck up.
40. The Rangers had 40 plus shots. Number one. Number two, he's talking when, it's just funny to me. The Islanders would be, instead of a mediocre team, a lottery team if it wasn't for Ilya Sorokin. So don't talk about goaltending, being goaltender merchants when the Islanders are one of the teams that are the definition of that. They feed off of the fact that they have solid goaltending. And then he also followed up with a tweet that says, I respect all views and respectfully note that my point on the Rangers' loss was not that Halak was not good. He was fine, but Shesterkin, as in Vezina, is better. Hence, with Igor, the R's he referred to the Rangers as, would have had a better chance to win. That's hockey logic, not a knock on Halak. Hockey logic. Sure, that's hockey logic. Not that the Rangers just didn't play good defensively and the fact that they had 40 shots on goal and Hellebuck was just good on the other side. But sure.
So, I mean, even back then, we've won games. We've been on a winning streak with Mackenzie Skavsky. No, they're both NHL goalies. Halak's great. If you watch the game, we weren't great defensively. You gave up too many scoring chances. Now, if we were good on the defensive side, we definitely would have had a better chance. It was on the skaters, not the goalie. Goalie had nothing to do with it. It's not even just it's hockey logic. Even with Igor, I still think we lose the game. There's no doubt.
100%. And okay, we lose the game 2-1 instead of 4-1, maybe. Okay.
Yeah, L's and L. Get no points at the end of the day. And Igor
I saw that post-to-post save Halak made. That was beautiful.
Igor was incredible.
It was also in what's hockey logic is you don't play your starter back-to-back games, especially when you're at home or on the road. Yeah, on the road. You're on the road.
And early in the season, it's not like you need the points.
Season too. Yeah, it's like why? So for him to say that's hockey logic, he's I think he just clowned himself, and that's not even me being a Ranger fan. What's hockey logic is that you don't play your all-star goalie back-to-back games. That's first of all on the road. That's really tough. He's gonna be tired as hell, and defensively, like I said, it's on the skaters. We didn't play well defensively, and putting Igor in wouldn't have made a difference. I think he's just a hater on the Rangers. I think he's jealous of the fact that we're here, we're in a better position, and for the future as well. And his Islanders are going downhill. And he could say, "Oh, we went back-to-back conference finals, but if it wasn't for the COVID pandemic, then you wouldn't even be in the conference final. You'd be either in a first-round exit or you'd be out of the playoffs." It's a whole different story to play on 82-game schedule plus playoffs instead of a Mickey Mouse 50-game schedule or whatever it is. I actually did the math. The amount of games the Islanders played in the 2021 season, I believe it was around a full regular season. I think it was about 82 games, if I'm not mistaken. Regular season plus playoffs. Now, imagine going to the Islanders after, the Tampa series. Okay, play a new round of playoffs. How do you think they would feel? I think they'd be gassed. It's the truth. It's the truth. I think he's just.
I think I have an idea here.
I think he's just
So
being biased and he's just hating. So
he also really mentioned in the tweet Vezina winning Igor. Do we think this is the guy that voted Sorokin in first place instead of Igor? Like, there's really a chance that this could be the guy because he sounded a bit salty by putting Vezina winner in it.
he might have.
He didn't have
the fact
to.
that he says
There's
that.
a chance.
The fact that he says it's logical to put Igor back to back on the road, he probably did. Yeah, he sounds like a dummy. So I
Thank you for joining us late, by the way. Appreciate you coming by, even though it's late. But yeah, I have a strong feeling that this is the guy. I think we found him. We got
He
him.
exposed himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
and clown take.
I
Clown
would
take.
I would love to have him on the podcast to really ask, like, where did he go for college? Where did he go to college for his education? I'm serious. Like, it's concerning me. Did he even go to school? Whatever.
And he has in his bio Emmy Award winning journalist. So
he's
interesting there. How you've been in the game for as long as you have, and you can't acknowledge the fact that the goaltending was not the problem here. But all right, we'll move on. So next, we are going to move on to the best player of the season thus far. And this is where I will give my shout out to Tick Pick because we're talking about the best player. We're talking about someone that saved the team. Tick Pick saves you money. So go check out Tick Pick. Link is in the description if you want to save money to go to a game. No service fees at the checkout page. Nick, you start. Who is the best player of the season thus far, in your opinion?
Who? I'm gonna have to say I like the way I'm gonna say it's Zibanejad. I like the way he's been playing. I think he's getting back to his 2020 version of Zibanejad. A lot more confident with the puck, which I love to see, meaning he's shooting the puck a lot more. He's having that goal scorer's mentality instead of being a playmaker. He can make plays, but he has that goal scorer mentality. And we obviously know that's what he truly is, a goal scorer. But the fact now he's trying to form himself into like that goal scoring center, and nothing else, I think that's, real good sign for the future as well.
He's also making defensive plays.
Yeah, I just really like his overall game, and I mean, I think right now to me he's been standing out the most for in terms of players on the ice, skaters. Obviously, you could say Igor but Igor is Igor. But in terms of like skaters, yeah, I'm gonna say he's a Zibanejad. I just like the way he's playing. Like I said, goal scorers mentality, which I really love. The fact that you're thinking every time you're on the ice that you're not going to pass up a scoring opportunity to be unselfish and and to help someone else. You're going to try to bury that puck in the net, which is great because we need guys like that can really try to help us buy goals. Instead of trying to help some bottom six guy on the other side and trying to put the puck in the back of the net to help their confidence. I know Panarin could definitely do that a lot. He could definitely pass up a lot of scoring opportunities, but that's besides my point. Point is, I think that Zibanejad has been the best player so far, and I really like his game a lot so far. So yeah,
I respect the pick a lot. Nico, who is your guy?
Yeah, I was probably gonna say Zibanejad, but I'm gonna go different here. I'm going to start with Artemi Panarin. I think he's looked really good. There was, those times last season where we'd question him as like, this is the guy we're paying almost $12 million a year. But I think in these first 3 games, he's looked really good. He's importantly to his game, he's going back on defense. As he said, he wanted to improve on his defensive game, being a two-way player. And I've seen him multiple times tracking back on defense, breaking up some plays. So I like to see that. If he could keep that up, there's no doubt he's going to be worth every penny for the New York Rangers. And then we know his offensive talent that he has. He's just threading the needle on every pass he's making. He's an insane playmaker. We know that shot that he has as well. He needs to put to use more. We saw him have that nice goal versus the Wild off the Lafreniere feed. I think he's just playing up to every expectation we had for him when we got him. and I just hope he keeps it up because there's not many players better than Artemi Panarin when he's playing at his full
Best.
potential.
Yeah, completely agree. I think that's another fair pick. And yeah, Panarin has looked like he's finally back to what we saw in his first year with the Rangers, what he was doing in Columbus. We didn't see it that much in the first game, I thought, but ever since then, I feel like, yeah, we have seen that. For me, I'm torn between two guys.
Miller and Trouba.
Yes, of course. But no, Miller has actually been good, but he definitely he's not my pick. I'm torn between two guys. The two guys for me are Trocheck and Kakko, but I'm gonna go with Kakko because of the fact that with Trocheck we kind of expected more what we're getting from him. With Kakko, we did not expect what we've got so far this season. The way that he is moving the puck, he looks confident. He's shooting the puck actually this year, which is something that usually he'd look for the pass, even if he's in the zone by himself. He'd look for the pass instead of trying to shoot the puck when he has a great A scoring opportunity. Instead, now he's actually shooting the puck. He's holding the puck for longer and making beautiful moves to the net to try and create space, to try and score a goal. And you're seeing him make creative passes as well, throwing the defenders off. And defenders are now playing him a bit more physical because of the fact that he is doing what he's doing. And he's still protecting the puck. He's still, because of his size, keeping the defenders off of him. He looks great so far. And I think we're finally seeing him turn the corner. And I think we're finally seeing the guy that we drafted second overall for. And if he keeps this up, Patrick Kane, no thank you. Stay off my team. See you later. Because ain't no way I want him on this team if Kakko's going to keep this up. And no way I'm moving Kakko in a deal if he keeps this up. Because this has been unreal so far.
Unless that means Austin Matthews, right?
Yes, that's different. If Austin Matthews can be a Ranger, then you move
Or
heaven and earth.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see what Mike says here. Kakko and Laffy look like they are playing where they belong. The Krav and Blay injuries may turn out to be fortunate for the Rangers. Agree. Lafreniere's jumping into the top 6 now where you're getting – it's kind of fortunate. Like, you don't want Krav hurt. You don't want guys hurt. But it's – right. It's been a blessing in disguise so far because these guys are playing in the top 6 now because of the injuries.
I really hope David Quinn's watching this right now.
Yeah.
Just on a burner.
Look at what you did. And look – he doesn't even care because look at William Eklund right now. He's getting sat in San Jose. But we're going to talk more about Kakko and Laffy later on, so I'm glad you mentioned both of them, Mike. Before we go to that, we have to mention it. Who has been the worst player of the season thus far? And since you guys went first, I'll try and go first here as I have to kind of think of one. And this is tough. I don't want to say... I was thinking maybe Carpenter, but like he got hurt. We haven't seen enough, which scary injury there. Hopefully things will be okay there. I'm probably going to have to say, though, Jimmy Vesey. I mean, he looked good in the preseason, and we haven't really seen the game translate from that PTO to the contract he's on now. I wasn't expecting him to come in here and, he's going to be a point producer and put up a bunch of goals, but he's not really doing much like we saw in the preseason, which doesn't shock me, but also kind of does, because I thought, at first I was like, oh, okay, he's just tearing up AHL competition, but he was still doing it towards the end of the preseason, and we're not really seeing it right now, and I haven't really noticed him that much, like I said, and I feel like we could get a bit more from Jimmy Vesey. I feel like there's a bit more. But Nico, you go next.
Yeah. This is tough. I don't think anyone's necessarily stood out like terribly bad so far through these first 3 games.
That's the same with Jimmy Vesey. He hasn't stood out to be awful, but
if I had to choose one, I think I'm just going to go to my scapegoat here, Mr. Jacob Trouba. Yeah. I just expected more, man. I know it's 3 games. It's early, I know, but I feel like I'm just seeing the same old Jacob Trouba. He's just looks careless on the defensive end at times in these first 3 games. He's that dumb penalty he takes. Like, what captain takes that type of penalty with 2 minutes left in the game and just completely ruins any chance of coming back? That's inexcusable penalty.
He blew 2 games for us so far. Tampa and this one. Yay.
Was that your pick?
Oh, me?
Yeah, was that your pick?
I was torn between Trouba or Hayek, maybe.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a great one. Okay.
I don't know. I think both are equally as bad. I think I wish, this is why I wish, I wish we had a coach like Torts, because Trouba would be benched already. He'd be benched. He'd be on the third pair or benched, and I don't know. And I mean, we need that medium between a Gallant and Torts. But yeah, no. To answer the question, I don't know. It's either Trouba or Hayek.
Well, Hayek, just to be different. So
Mhm.
Say Hayek, but Trouba is unacceptable, and I hope.
But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Hayek because we're going to talk about him in a minute. But I wanted to get to Mike's comment quickly. Carpenter's looking like this season's Nemeth.
That's a reach.
Nemeth. I'd say this season's Brett Howden because he's there some nights he's not there. That's I think a fair comparison because Nemeth just wasn't here any nights. Let's be honest with that. And I was gonna say this season's McKegg, but McKegg wasn't here any nights. So I'd say right now this season's Howden. But glad you mentioned Hayek because listen, Gallant said he wants to play Hayek because he doesn't want him to just rust of the press box. But why? Why is he playing? Why is it that Zach Jones makes one mistake and he's in the press box when last year Keandre Miller made mistake after mistake after mistake in the beginning of the season, still played? Why is it that Jacob Trouba could constantly make mistakes and not be demoted to the third pair? Why is it that Braden Schneider can make mistakes and last year they ended up putting Braun and Nemeth together as a pair for a bit?
It's favoritism. It's bullshit. Just favoritism, honestly. That's all it is.
Agree with this comment. Gustav Riedel is needed. But to get back to Hayek, it's
that's what I'm saying. That's my point, Evan. Gallant really reminds me of a lot of Alain Vigneault, some of the things that he does.
No doubt. Locker room present.
I think Hayek would be,
yeah.
It could be he could be.
Gotta get yourself a veteran defense.
Be an Olympian athlete for kayaking. He'd be team.
And I feel bad because I want to root for him. I really do. But every time he's out there, he frustrates me.
There's no sign. There's no flashes of hope. You know what I'm saying?
There isn't. No, and
that's the problem. If there was, then maybe.
It makes me wonder, how is he still here? How?
Because they're trying to make that trade look like that it's worth it with Miller and McDonough.
Get over it.
We gotta come to the conclusion.
Hey, you got a seventh defenseman and a guy that's an AHL center.
Yeah, bro, we got fleeced. Just get over it. It's over. Just take me out. Bro.
Just think of the first that you got for Niels Lundqvist as part of the trade. That could be the good part.
Who was that first? Who do we
traded Niels Lundqvist for the first.
Right.
But to move on from Hayek, are Kakko and Laffy finally here, or is it too early to say?
Too early. I think they have more to offer, and I think they will have more to offer. But I wouldn't say they're here just yet. No.
I'm on the fence, but Nico, you go first.
Yeah, I'm not gonna overreact too much through 3 games. They definitely look like they're different players, though. I will say that Kakko, he's phenomenal both ways of the ice. He's strong in the puck. He's tough to get off it. He has that shot he's been using. I think Kakko definitely looks good, but I'm not gonna say too much just yet. And then Lafreniere as well. Same with him. He looks great with Panarin and Trocheck. As long as those two stay on the top 6, I see big seasons from them. Definitely 50+ points.
I'm on the fence right now because of the fact that it's just because of the fact that we saw this in the playoffs from them, and now they're carrying it over to this season, which gets me excited and gets me thinking that, all right, maybe they're finally here, but I'm also going to stay cautiously optimistic at the same time and think that, okay, there's still a full season to be played. Gotta wait and see with them. But overall, I mean, I'm feeling good about them so far. Mike says, I don't wish for any players to be injured, but Blay and Kravtsov being hurt is proving Kaka and Laffy are playing where they belong. Yeah, I completely agree because this was what we needed from them last year. And now we're getting it. And it just makes the team so much better. And the team is a lot deeper now. That is for sure. But to move on, let's start with the negative, actually. What has been the biggest negatives of the season so far, even though we kind of addressed it, but if you had to pick maybe anything else to talk about outside of the defense?
No, the defense. And I guess you could say let's generate a little bit more scoring opportunities instead of having to rely on the power play for that, but that's
Okay.
all. Yeah, defense and generating more scoring chances on 5v5 specifically. But yeah, for me, those are the negatives.
I agree.
Yeah.
Honestly.
In terms of other negatives, Libor Hayek playing.
Yeah.
Outside of that, Carpenter too. Gustav Riedel needs to be up here. And with the injury Carpenter got, I feel like, use it as an excuse to put him on LTIR and
Maybe.
call up Riedel so you don't have to waive Carpenter. It's just an idea, or put him on the IR, whichever one you want to do. But the problem is they're so cap strapped that they probably can't just put him on the IR and then call a guy up. But I would consider it because Gustav Riedel needs to be here. He's a lot better. But you're saying the lines when guys are healthy. Okay, Kravtsov, Hedel, Blay, agree with that. And then Goudreau, Carpenter, Reeves. Wish Riedel was in there. Wish he was. But what have been the positives on the other side of things so far?
For me, I would say positives have been, of course, the power play. Young players showing their potential. Igor looking like he's kind of repeating what he did last season. Through the first couple of games that he's played, he looks again like he could win the Vezina. Superstars coming to play early, like Panarin. Zibanejad is a big thing. Zach Jones looking pretty solid to me in those first 2 games. Besides that one error, there's a lot of positives to pick out, honestly, as opposed to the negatives. But yeah, that would be my list of positives.
Nick.
Kako, Laffy's taking that next step as players. I'd say Zibanejad going back to his old ways. Guess you could say Panarin maybe being better defensively, but power play. What'd you say?
I said I got one for you. How about the fact that Trocheck is clicking with Panarin early?
Yeah,
that to me,
I like
huge
that.
positive because there was concern about that when Strome left, but shocking, more like not to me. But Trocheck's clicking with Panarin early.
Yeah,
definitely a positive.
That and the power play as well, but that's about it. And I guess Igor, but I mean, some of those are easy.
Halak definitely too.
That's true. I mean, we're lucky to have a good backup in Halak too. I mean,
Jones and Schneider, yeah, that's another good one here. Also, to get back to this point, I'm okay with waiving Carpenter too, but management probably isn't. That's the only issue with that. But yes, I do agree. Jones and Schneider is definitely probably one of the bigger positives as well. 5-on-5 chances coming, definitely a positive as well.
But with the chances, we could get a little bit more. It could be a little bit better with it, a little bit. Just to be more consistent with it. Like we've shown certain at times in the game, like we could produce scoring chances, but imagine if we could just be more consistent with it. Then I wouldn't complain.
Agree with that.
And how about like we just come into every game knowing like we no matter what team it is,
we know what to expect.
Not even that. Just like we know, like we can produce scoring chances, and come through. We're not going to come on every scoring chance, but just to get a decent amount of scoring chances in each period, just have a chance to win. But that goes with the defense as well. just give us a chance to win. Don't lack. Don't just have numbers back, get your scoring chances, shoot the puck. And you got good goalies behind you that back you up. Don't feel pressured into pressing and or pinching on a play, and leaving a guy wide open, or leave a guy wide open on a breakout pass for a breakaway. Don't feel pressured to do that. Not every game is gonna, be a three goal differential for a win. Like sometimes you have to win by being just playing with grit and just playing with grind, and that's how it is in the playoffs. So why are you trying to get away from that now when you're going to be doing it in a few months from now? So I think besides that, I mean, I lost my train of thought, but you get my point I'm trying to make.
Yeah. I do have another positive though as well.
What?
Okay, stop me if you know what I'm about to say, because it's going to be obvious after a bit. But with Kakko and Lafreniere producing in the top 6, there's a hole there in the bottom 6 of the lineup, isn't there? There's a certain guy that could help that need, and it's looking like at the trade deadline, a certain guy might come back to save the day. Tyler Mott, baby. Tyler Mott.
Please bring him back. Chris Drury. We got to get that petition started.
There. I see that spot. Carpenter, he could get out of here. I see a spot. He's right there. Put him right there in that spot. Bring my boy back.
That'd be so inspirational.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with that. Bring my boy back. If you know, you know, right?
Ottawa doesn't look too good so far.
Yeah, I like the idea. You know.
I'm
telling you right now, Justin Braun and Tyler Mott will be Rangers again.
I don't even care. I don't even care if Mott plays. If you know, you know. I don't care if he plays. I don't care if he's a healthy scratch.
No, he has to play.
No,
he has to.
For me.
Well, yeah, both. I think we get Riedel coming up. I don't. No. No.
No.
Nope. No.
Take the comment off. Next question.
No, I'm leaving this up for a minute. I disagree with a lot of this. And usually I don't disagree with you, Mike, so I'll give you a pass. But with this, I hard disagree. I agree that Riedel might come up. I can't disagree there. But I could also see a scenario where, Tyler Mott, why not? You get a different bottom 6 piece. But Patrick Kane.
I'll say this. If it's Kane in a bag of pucks, sure. I'll give you that.
If it's Kane for a bag of pucks, yeah,
sure.
Sign me up. But with the way Kakko and Laffy are playing, if they keep this up, nah. I'd rather go after a cheaper guy like Yevgeny Dadonov.
Just add depth to your team. Just focus on doing that, because I think the top 6 is good enough to get by. But if we can really add some good depth pieces to really do the dirty work, down the road, in the playoffs too, I think would be that more of an elite team.
Kravtsov and a pick with Dadonov sounds like the perfect trade for both sides. Because Montreal, we know that Jeff Gordon loves Kravtsov, so why not? You throw in a pick. Maybe if you have to throw in another prospect, whatever. I think that's the play. I don't want Kane, but I think he is the prize, and Drury will kick the tires. I agree he'll kick the tires. I don't think he's going to overpay, though. I really don't think he's going to overpay. I think he's better than that.
I think honestly he'll offer a Kane deal, but it's not going to be what Chicago wants, and it's not going to hurt us either. He'll give up a first or whatever, but it's not going to hurt us.
Robertson.
I don't think it'll hurt. I think the deal isn't going to hurt us in the long run. But I think he'll make a deal, but I think other teams will offer more.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be more reserved and just be like, here, we'll give you an offer for Kane because it's Patrick Kane. However, we're not trying to hurt our, team at the same time. So if you take it, great. If not, doesn't matter to us. It's just, it's an added bonus. I see it as, if you get Patrick Kane, great. That's a bonus. But if not, we're fine. But it depends on what you offer, though, obviously.
Exactly. If the deal, because for starters, Ryan Reeves has to be in the deal just because of cap reasons. So you're going to have another trade in place for a bottom 6 guy or two, whether you call up Gustav Riedel to replace a spot and then trade for another guy. But you're going to need to fill in the bottom 6 either way by the deadline if we're going to talk this, since we are. You're going to need 2 bottom 6 guys, at least from what we see right now, most likely. But Ryan Reeves has to be in the deal just because of cap reasons. Because then if Chicago retains 50%, then the Rangers would be cap compliant there. You're probably, if you could get away with Reeves, Kravtsov, a first, Robertson, maybe like a second, too. And I don't know, Carl Henriksen or another mid-level prospect. Sure, sign me up. But the problem is the trade's probably going to be, they're going to want Kakko.
Yeah.
Reeves has to be in the deal. And right there, you have 2 holes then on your roster. Kravtsov might go, 3 holes. And then you're going to have to move probably a first, which, okay, you have the extra first, fine. And maybe a second, maybe Robertson. And that's realistically what Chicago's probably going to want. The only advantage the Rangers might have, and I'll say this, say the Rangers do offer that sweetheart package to Chicago, and Patrick Kane only wants to come to the Rangers. He doesn't want to go to any other team but the Rangers.
Yeah.
They'll have to take that deal at that point, because it's either we lose Kane for nothing or we take this bag of chips essentially for Patrick Kane, because that's realistically the only way.
Yeah, I hope Kane wants to come to New York so we have the leverage in the deal. We don't have to give up much, but, we get Patrick Kane as well. We just can't, like I said, we would love to have Patrick Kane, but it's got to be at the right price, because in our past episodes, we've kind of referred, to like the Rick Nash deal, and we kind of compared it how we gave up, a couple of key assets to the team from the team, our conference final run for Rick Nash, just to have, holes in our lineup isn't worth it, so we just gotta get Kane at the right price. And like I said, if he wants to only come to New York, then we have the leverage in the deal, and they don't have any choice but to accept, our deal, obviously. So
yeah.
I mean,
Nico, you're the CEO of Patrick Kane Trade, so I'd love to hear your thoughts.
He has a no move clause, right, or something like that.
He does.
Yeah, no trade clause, full.
Yeah, so there you go. So if he only wants to come to us just to play with like Panarin or whatever, like, great, then that makes it even better for us. Then, I would feel more confident in getting Kane, and because they're just going to have to take whatever we offer and we win the trade. Hopefully that's the case, honestly. I mean, that'd be fantastic. There's no doubt, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully Panarin can hit up Kane's number and be like, hey, listen, you want to win a cup? Come to New York.
That would have to be the move.
That would have to
it would
really be like, yo, let's light it up again. We'll play on the same line, win a Stanley Cup together. Something we should have done in Chicago, maybe. But let's do it in New York. You'll be making even more bank with all the ads on, and being on the marquee. That's just got to be the move. I think that's the only chance. And then you can just go to whoever the GM is now. It's not Stan Bowman anymore, right?
No.
Yeah, someone else. So it'd be like, hey, listen, like, trying to make some even more bank. Kind of have to connect me with the Rangers and Chris Drury. So hopefully that's the case. But yeah, let's get to the CEO of the Patrick Stan. Nico, whatever your last name is, go ahead.
Look, I was coming in with that anticipation.
Right, bro. Hear me out. Trust me, bro. Go ahead.
All right. I was going in with the anticipation that we didn't have someone on that right winger first line. But now that Kakko's looking pretty good, I'm backing up slightly on the idea. I'll say that. Because I thought we were going to have Sammy Blais. Barkley good draw on that right wing first line. But, Chicago's looking good. So, okay, if he keeps looking like that, maybe I won't be as much of the CEO of the Patrick Kane trade anymore. But another thing is, he has 1 year left on his deal. I think we're going to be very underwhelmed by the package the Chicago Blackhawks get at the trade deadline if they do indeed trade Patrick Kane. Just knowing he has 1 year left, they don't have leverage. They're going to need to move him. Like, I think there's no chance they're getting Kakko in a deal for him if they do with the Rangers. I mean, one, Chris Drury wouldn't do it even if they asked, but I feel like it's just, like you can't ask for Kakko on a guy you're going to have for half a year. Like, I think what you said, Evan, was a really realistic package that could happen. Kravtsov a first, Matthew Robertson a second, I think is more than enough to get a Patrick Kane deal done. So if that's all it takes, I mean, you guys said it too. You guys aren't very big advocates of the Patrick Kane for the Rangers trade. But yeah, I mean, I think at that point, you don't have a chance but to say yes or what's it called? A choice but to say yeah. And yeah, as you said, Nick, if he just, Panarin needs to hit his line, say, come to the Rangers. I think that's the place he wants to be, Kane. He wants to come to the Rangers, play with Panarin in the Big Apple, win a Stanley Cup here. I mean, the only unfortunate part is he's saying all these things about how he kind of wants to stay in Chicago, but I mean, maybe it's just BS for the media. Yeah, does he really want to stay in Chicago? Come on. Like, he's getting pissed off at Seth Jones. You see him cursing him out when he was leaving the the offensive zone.
It's interesting. What if he does actually want to stay in Chicago and he doesn't even get traded? Chicago tries to trade him, but he's like, no.
Yeah, I can't tell if he's BSing with the media that he wants to stay there. Is he just saying that,
And they're just like, no, Patrick, just go win a cup and then he can come back here. No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Patrick, we got to deal with you. You okay? Can we approve this deal? Yeah, nah. Talk your franchise.
Nah, I'd rather not win. I'd rather stay in Chicago.
Yeah,
listen, Patrick, let us get Connor Bedard, and then you come back here and play with him and help him learn the game. No, I'm good. We'll have that, and then the week after is going to be a busy week as there's going to be 4 games for us to cover. But yeah, we will be covering the 2 games next week. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening wherever you did. Leave a like, subscribe, rating, review. Follow us on all of our socials. Link is in the description if you want to. And we will see you guys in the next one. Let's go, Rangers.